quite a while. I could literally go on for hours talking about this division, the lightweight division, the 155-pound division, which is an absolute shambles, a complete weird mess. Like, there's nowhere more, like, convoluted and complicated than the lightweight division right now. You have no guarantees. Everything seems to be changing by the day. And people aren't even sure who's going to fight for the title next. And mainly you have to put the blame on Dana. But there are some other key and just weird factors that have played into all this. And I'm going to go into detail about this, all of them. Firstly, Khabib versus Conor McGregor. Conor won the belt from Eddie Alvarez, disappeared, didn't defend for 2 years. This led to a number of contenders arising, like Khabib, like Tony Ferguson, like Dustin Poirier, who Conor had already beaten in the featherweight division. Anyway, Khabib won the interim championship from, or I guess real championship, because Conor was stripped from number 11 ranked Al Iaquinta, and only because Tony Ferguson pulled out with a leg injury, but we'll get to that later. This fight was made, and, well, we all know what happened, don't we? Khabib lost his shit, beat the shit out of Conor for 4 rounds, tapped him out, and then this happened. Jumps over the cage like an eagle, flies like an eagle into the crowd to attack Dylan Dennis. Now, this is a part where I had to blame Khabib. He had no reason to do this at all. He literally just lost his shit. Like, if you beat someone down for 4 rounds, most of your anger should be gone. But no. You know, if you hadn't just jumped out of the cage and attacked Conor's side bitch, this whole bullshit with the interim belt probably wouldn't have happened. And the division would be a lot less confusing because of it. But that's what happened. There's nothing you could change about that at this point. Conor then said he would fight the lower ranked on the card, just returned to lightweight, Donald Cerrone, and then he'd probably fight for the title. Now, I don't know how beating up a washed-up journeyman like Cerrone is going to prepare you for the greatest grappler in mixed martial arts right now, but that seemed to be the fight they wanted to make, and Dana gave his blessing. Of course, Conor is like Dana's daughter, and he has to give blessings. He has to protect his star investment. He has to look after Conor, you know, because Conor is not a grown man. He can't make decisions for himself. But this fight seems to have been called off because no contract was signed, and they say because, you know, Conor's such a big star, he only wants to fight on pay-per-views, obviously the money, and the Athletic Commission says pay-per-views can only consist of title fights. Which is probably the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, so the fight just didn't happen, you know. Conor, what Conor really wants is to fight Khabib. That's the fight Conor really wants. So, let him figure out what's next.
Let Conor figure out what he wants next. Has Dana ever given that kind of freedom to any other fighter ever?
He's pretty much letting Conor pick and choose what he wants, and thanking him for it. Conor, who would you like to fight next, Conor? Do you want some extra fries with that, Conor? Do you want me to lick your feet, Conor? Can I fondle you any more, Conor? You're my star investment. I love you and I need you. You're all I have, Conor. In the meantime, Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway has been made for the interim. Yeah, that's right. Another interim. An interim lightweight title. Yeah, remember the last 2 people that have won interim belts? What happened to them, huh? Name me one person in the last year that's won an interim belt and has been able to unify them. You can't, can you? And you'd be right. Dustin Poirier, obviously coming off of a win over, I guess Eddie Alvarez, but he also beat Max Holloway as well in their first fight. But these were like undeveloped kid versions of what they are now. Like, look at the difference between then and now. Max is a featherweight champion, and Dustin is a top contender in the lightweight division. So, you know, it's a throwback, honestly. But I guarantee you the winner of that won't even get a title fight, to be honest, because they're going to get passed up by Conor. Once again, proving interim belts don't mean jack shit. Once again, why make them if you don't want to unify them? Why even... Oh, God. And more specifically, what about Tony Ferguson? What about him, huh? Are we just going to forget that he also won an interim belt, never got a title fight, 11-fight win streak, literally beating up everyone in the division and not getting a title fight? This is almost a crime, honestly. And people are going to be like, oh, he should have answered the phone. He should have fought Max. And I agree, especially when he said he would have fought Max if Habib ducked. And now for him all of a sudden to be, I don't know about that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he has any doubts about fighting Max. But even so, he's already fought and won an interim belt. And we all know what happened to that. He got stripped from it. And he was never given a title. He was passed up by Conor McGregor. Just like the winner of Dustin and Max will be. Oh my God. Like, I can't blame Tony. Who would... Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Would you fight for another interim belt if the first one you won had been stripped and you weren't given a title fight? I don't see how Tony's to blame in this situation. I can't see it. But if Conor does fight Habib next, it's not even for any guarantee that it'd be for the title. Nurmagomedov could be stripped by then, so they could just be fighting for nothing. But then again, who would be the champion by that? It's so confusing. Lightweight is so confusing. It's just crazy right now. Especially if he sits out till November. He'd have to be stripped. If they go by a year and you don't defend your title, he would have to be stripped by that point. And yeah, I think I'm really not sure. I really don't know what to make of the lightweight division right now. It's anyone's guess. It's literally the most unpredictable and clusterfuck made division in the UFC, and I can't make any sense of it. It just seems like things are changing by the day and becoming completely different. You literally have to follow it to see what's next. Like, it changes daily. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next in this division? I guess just wait and see.